Greg McCarty, and I'm a psychologist that works at the Laura Dester shelter in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way that the Journey program started was in the winter of 2000. The shelter was a place that was not safe for the children or the staff. The shelter was one of the two child welfare shelters in the state of Oklahoma, and we had some kids that had been taken out of their homes for the first time. We had other kids who had repeatedly disrupted their foster homes, group homes, residential treatment centers, or who had been released from inpatient units or detention without a placement. So the shelter was a strange combination of frightened kids and kids with major league behavioral problems. So they paraded in the doors carrying their possessions in black plastic bags thrown over their shoulders, and beneath their shells of anger and defiance, the kids knew that the Laura Dester shelter was their last stop. It was a state custody shelter for kids who had nowhere else to go. So, faced with this, the staff was another concern at the shelter. For like the children, they were caught in a web of thinking of hopelessness, helplessness, and cynicism. And over time, faced with a constant bombardment of negative emotions, the staff was burning out. The last part of the story is I was the contract psychologist at the shelter, and so something had to change. So faced with the problems at the shelter, I went home and there was a quote on my bathroom calendar that said, "We become what we think about all day long." And so thinking or trying to understand what Emerson was saying, he was saying that our thoughts shape our lives, that we become how we perceive and think about the world. That reality is not something out there, something completely separate from ourselves, but that reality is different for each person. Reality is how we interpret and experience. It's our self-talk that determines what we feel about life, how we see the world, and how we react to it. So, if the shelter was trapped in a web of negative thinking, of thinking that was dead-ended, then it could be liberated by positive thoughts, where kids and staff found hope in the midst of hopelessness, courage where there had only been despair, and success where there had always been failure. So, if Emerson was right, if the children could change their thinking, they could change their lives. And that was the challenge.